right to vote. More than 100 years ago, women have been targeted by politicians hoping to attract their support.
Well, in this general election, it's no different. Leaders proudly stating their party is the one for women. But come July the 4th, how much power do female voters have as values in society shift?
Well, our East Midlands reporter Will Hollis has the story.
Jo's great-great-grandmother, suffragette Alice Hawkins, was on the front line of the fight for the right to vote.
This is the sash that Alice wore when she was a suffragette. She wore it to meetings, demonstrations, whenever she spoke.
Arrested and imprisoned 5 times, the working-class woman sacrificed in her lifetime to earn voting rights for women everywhere in Britain today.
Whenever they demonstrated, the police were very aggressive. There's no doubt that they were the victims of police brutality, but it just didn't stop them.
In Leicester, a statue celebrates Alice and the suffragette cause. 100 years on, people seeking power watch voter trends eagerly. So, which issues matter to women here?
My thing is for the NHS.
Women's rights, obviously.
The future for the kids, for the children.
Ahead of the general election, the main parties are trying to attract voters from key groups and demographics, framing themselves as the party for business, for the environment and for women.
There are groups of women that parties target, and that is sensible.
Professor of Politics Rosie Campbell suggests that women tend to focus on education and the NHS when voting, whereas for men, the economy and Europe matter more.
Our lives are still, to some extent, organised around gender, and men's and women's lives are a little bit different still.
Why do we not seem to talk about the men's vote in the same way that we do the female vote?
One of the reasons we focus on women in this way is that elections, we're really interested in undecided voters who will vote. And women make up the majority of undecided voters, but they're just as likely to turn out on election day. So if you want to go and persuade people late in the campaign to vote for you, women are massively overrepresented in that group.
A recent YouGov poll, looking at voting intentions for the coming election, found women are more likely to vote Labour or Green than men, with Reform more likely to attract male voters. The Conservatives, Lib Dems and SNP have a more equal voting share across genders. The role of women in electing the next government is still to be seen. But for Jo, in memory of the suffragettes like Alice, the result matters less than the taking part.
If you want a voice in this world, if you want to impact the changes that are needed, then you have to vote. It's as simple as that.
A single vote can change the direction of Britain, a power that is held equally. Will Hollis, GB News, Leicester.